It is Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. I am James. You are you. We are here for another breathtaking, thrill-seeking, heart-pumping, yada, 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 yada edition of the show that won't go away. It is At Home with James, live on twitch.tv/ of course, At Home with James. I think this is episode 310. Gosh, it feels like only days ago that we were celebrating 300 episodes of this silly little project. And now here we are, 10 episodes later. We're still in it. We're in the trenches. We're in the jungle. And I would like to think that you, the viewer, you're part of my platoon. I am the leader of this platoon, the captain, the sheriff, whatever you want to call it. And just like in the movie Platoon, I think that my fate is the same as Willem Dafoe's, where I get gunned down live on the air in a field. It'll be on the In the Field edition of At Home with James, taking place next summer, where I get brutally gunned down by a rival online show. And then it's up to you, everyone watching out there, as you cruise along the information superhighway to take over the reins of this show. I don't know who's going to be bestowed with the honor of being the new host if I were to be brutally taken from you. Could it be Dave? Maybe Dimitri? Maybe Carla? Maybe Connor Rose? Or maybe one of the three guests that are with us here tonight? Because I know that when you tuned into this show and you fire up Chrome or Safari or Explorer or Edge or Firefox, you're not really watching this show for this intro, and you're certainly not watching to hear me talk about being gunned down in a field. You're here for the guests. Maybe one of these three guests would take over if I found myself gunned down in a field. On tonight's show, much later on, we've got Andy Assaf. Could he be one of the potential hosts if, for some unforeseen incident, I find myself on the other side? Maybe. Also joining us tonight is someone that I call Downtown Alex Brown. Now, if you've been watching this show for more than a cup of coffee, you know that I've been insisting for months that Alex buy a pair of leather pants. I don't know, and I certainly don't remember the relevance of that request. And I'm sure for some of you just watching, you're thinking, why is James asking his guests to wear leather pants? I've done a number of things on this show. Sid Rock, I requested that he grow a beard or a mustache. He did not acquiesce. I told Dale Bernier that he was no longer allowed to come on the show using his real name. I forced him to take on a new persona. That was in March. I haven't had this guy on the show in months. I forgot about inviting this guy on the show. You want to know why? I'm putting together a dream team. And when you're putting together a dream team, you need a star. And that's when Alex Brown comes to stomp the yard. What's Alex Brown going to be talking about tonight? Certainly not leather pants. If I had it my way, it'd be the leather pants review with Alex Brown. But on this show, I never get my way. All the other guests come on. They're the ones that get to be funny. I do this little thing. This is all I look forward to in my day. I wake up, I have a coffee, leave my home. Maybe I teach some improv. I get back on the metro. I come home. Maybe, just maybe, I'll make some people laugh during my little intro. But no, instead, I have to talk about being gunned down in a field. Also joining us in just a matter of moments, guys have been on the show in quite a while. And today I was hanging out with him. We're doing some work. And I said, I got to take a leak. So I went to the bathroom, whipped out my Johnson and started taking a whiz. And I started thinking about how, hey, Jason Grimmer has not been on the show in a while. I think one of the last times Jason was here, we put together a list of the ideal songs that you could wash your car to. And as I had my Johnson in my hand, I was taking a whiz. I thought, we gotta take it up a notch. We got to up the ante on this little program. And I told Jason, hey, Jason, tonight I want you on the show. He said, well, I'm supposed to. I cut him off. He said, I don't care. You're coming on this show tonight. I said, tonight I want you to rank the best songs to take down your backyard setup to. Now, are you watching and thinking, what's a backyard setup? Well, let's get the man of the hour in here to really break down what it means to have a backyard setup. Here he is, live and in living color. It is Mr. Jason Grimmer. Jason, welcome to the show. It's so glad to have you back. How's it feel?
Hey, it's pretty good. Thanks for having me. It's like I've come out of the sort of hiding and back in the limelight on your show. Thanks a lot.
Back in the limelight. Back in the limelight, just like the Rush song Limelight, which I do not suspect has made your list of the ideal songs to tear your backyard setup to down.
No, that's not on the list at all. What a challenge this list was, though, James. What a challenge, because when you're thinking about car wash songs, comes to mind, like a lot of them come to mind pretty easy, and a lot of them sort of work with strip clubs as well. So with this one, it's a real challenge to keep it sort of on point.
Yeah, this is a niche type of playlist, if we want to call it that. I don't suspect this exists on Spotify or Apple Music. Now, when I say to you, songs that you would tear your backyard setup down to, what does that mean to you, tearing down your backyard setup?
Well, when it's dark earlier and you feel that chill in the air, autumn is passing and winter's coming soon, you always have to bring in everything that you put out there in the summertime, bring it in, put it away, break it down.
Yeah. So maybe some tables, some outdoor chairs, an outdoor couch. Maybe you put something over the hot tub or the pool. It could be a number of things.
Tarp. Yeah, a tarp, or
maybe kind of like a badminton net.
Bringing down the badminton net, bringing down the Heineken umbrellas for the patio tables.
Moving your cornhole game under the porch.
Put it under the porch. Put a tarp over that too. I usually spend a lot of money on. That's one of the things that drives me nuts. Is I buy a lot of tarps, and then where do they go? I got to buy them again.
Well, you, such as many people, are going to be using those tarps because the backyards are getting torn down soon if they haven't already. But I'm sure some people like myself who, I one day dream of having a backyard. I've been in backyards. I hope to be in one again, whether I'm invited to one or maybe I own one. How do you make this experience more fun? We'll put on some music. And I think that there's some songs that lend themselves to experiences or work. Like you mentioned, washing a car to certain songs. We had a large list of songs. This is probably going to be a much more condensed list. So Jason, how many songs have you put together for this specific segment tonight?
6. 6 was the perfect amount. I had to play a couple over again, but really it worked because you want to get the job done quick. It's not something, it's a dog of a job. It's a dog of a job. And it takes some time. So
can I ask you, are these songs coming in any particular order? Or are they out of order?
They're in the order that I listened to them. And as I started breaking things down and bringing them in, they're the order they were in. So we'll keep them in that order if that works for you.
I'm excited for this segment. Music is something that I love talking about. You and I talk about music fairly often. Let's face it, Jason. Not a lot of guests on this show can really hang in a musical discussion with a couple characters like me, but specifically you.
Yeah, you're telling me. You're telling me.
Preaching to the converted. Well, Jason, let's get into it.
Okay, sure. So out there today, taking down the umbrellas, bringing in the stuff, bringing down the bamboo blinds, all the stuff, the tiki torches.
You got to keep those mosquitoes away in the summer.
First song comes on, guy who changed his name 3 times. First time, John Mellencamp. Then Johnny Cougar. Then John Cougar Mellencamp. Crumbling down. Down.
Now, we were talking about this song earlier today. This is my favorite Mellencamp track. It's got a slow burn, really rocks. There's a bit of some female backing vocals in there, a little bit of a raspy. Yep. He sings with some crude tood in this song.
Yeah, he was being a brat. He was still on the edge of the glam brat years for Johnny Cougar. Before he got too serious. Railing against the system and authority.
Railing.
I wrote down some lyrics
against the system. Please, I want to hear them. I know them, but for the people, the uninformed, let's hear some lyrics to Crumbling Down.
When the walls come tumbling down, when the walls come crumbling, when the walls come tumbling down. You know how that goes? You want to sing it now?
Well, I feel like this is your segment, Jason. I shouldn't take over your melon.
When the walls come tumbling down, when the walls come crumbling, when the walls
I couldn't help myself.
Tumbling down.
Yeah. See, I said I wasn't going to do it. I couldn't help myself.
In that space and time of that song, the above ground pool taken apart, packed in a box under the deck, tarped.
Yeah, exactly. All to the sweet sounds of Crumbling Down. And dare I say that song rocks.
I think you can dare. You can go there for sure. You can go
All
there.
right. Well, what else has made the list? What's joining Crumbling Down?
Number 2 is kind of in the same sort of ballpark in that, I mean, kind of Midwestern talent. Maybe started out in the kind of a rockier times and became known for more of a mellow stuff. We're talking about Tom Petty and his band, the Heartbreakers, Breakdown. Right?
Wow. Okay. Now, this is another moment in which Tom Petty has come up on this show. From some of the other guests, doesn't get a lot of respect on this show, and I couldn't take more umbrage with that.
He's a utilitarian. He's like the Phil Hartman of music. You put him in any situation, he's going to shine. He's a killer songwriter. He's got a distinctive voice and a career that puts other people to shame.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Tom Petty.
I couldn't agree more with that R.I.P. sentiment. This is an interesting song because he kind of sings with a bit of an accent in this one.
Yeah, he was doing that sort of thing around that time. These kind of power pop rock bands were kind of like affecting an English accent in some weird way. Which is strange when you think that he's from Florida, right? It's weird.
Yeah, it's like I don't care if you love me.
I don't care if you do. I don't know the words. Sorry.
Yeah.
Break down. I didn't give it to me.
You really led right into the chorus there. Yeah, you really led into the chorus there.
Well, I couldn't wait. That song builds anticipation.
Yeah, now, I don't know. I know that on our end, I'm hearing the sounds previously of Mellencamp and now Petty.
Break down, all right.
To our technical director tonight, let's be very cautious with the amount of time that we spend playing this music. Otherwise, this episode could be scrubbed in short order. Yeah.
Come on, James. That's not rock and roll. Let's move on to the next one. Well, the day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. And with that one, hot tub covered.
Yeah, now this is interesting, Jason, because the 3 songs that you've selected, whether it's Mellencamp, Petty, or The Doors, feature very specific lyrics of things coming down. We got Breakdown, Crumbling Down, and Break On Through.
Yeah. Well, Break On Through is less about going down and going into a sort of a parallel dimension.
Right.
In our case, that dimension would be fully equipped backyard for the summer, ready for winter backyard.
Yeah.
So where Jim Morrison was talking about traveling between dimensions and opening the doors of perception, I'm talking about my yard and getting it ready for the winter so I don't have to deal with the mess the next fucking year.
Well, let me ask you here because Jim Morrison, known for exposing himself during a rock and roll performance, do you intend on exposing yourself while taking down your backyard?
Never intend to do it, ever.
Well, let's move on to the next song. We're at the halfway point.
Okay, this one's a bit of a challenge, but this one really kind of speaks to the seasons, James. Should I just sing it?
I think you do whatever makes you happy.
I got the lyrics here. Look around. Grass is high. Fields are ripe. It's the springtime of my life. Seasons change with the scenery, weaving time in a tapestry. Won't you stop and remember me? Look around. Leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Look around. Leaves are brown. There's a patch of snow on the ground. Better get your yard picked up. There's snow already.
Now this is like this one. I could really feel how much those particular lyrics meant to you. Yeah, drink up.
I deserved it. Do you know what I did all day? Anyway, so yeah, the leaves are coming. Snow gets on top of those leaves. You get a whole mess of compost in the back. Got to clean it up. So it's just a reminder. Get going, Jason. Get going. You don't know when that day is going to come. It's coming soon.
So it serves itself as a motivator for you.
Yeah, get it done. Totally. It's a get it done song. It's a reminder. Look around.
We've only got 2 songs left here, and I'm curious to know, as you were narrowing this list down, did it become increasingly more difficult?
No, it became easier because I was excited. I was inspired, and I had a mandate to get this done. If I wish I could have done 10 songs, but these 6 fit perfectly. I tried to play another song, didn't work at all. Not going to talk about the song because I don't want to denigrate the artist. Next one. Black Sabbath, Snowblind. Here's some lyrics. Here's the lyrics. Something blowing in my head. Winter's ice, it soon will spread. Death would freeze my very soul. Makes me happy, makes me cold.
Yeah. Now, can I hear
I like winter, but it's cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, for my own clarification purposes, are these Ozzy Sabbath lyrics or Dio Sabbath lyrics? I suspect Ozzy.
Ozzy for sure. Yeah, I think volume 4 of this album's on. So
now, can I get you to impersonate Ozzy?
Something's blowing in my head. Winter's ice, it soon will. I'm not doing this very well. Death would freeze my very soul. Makes me happy, makes me cold. All right.
That all right, because Ozzy's known for a lot of those. Or like,
yeah.
Okay.
The thing about Ozzy is that he sings with the guitar, whatever the guitar is playing. He just apes that. It's great. I can't do an Ozzy. I love Ozzy though.
Yeah.
Props to Ozzy. R.I.P. R.I.P.
We've reached the final song on the list to tear your backyard down to. And Jason, what's the final song?
Well, this one I'm going to sing to you because I broke down and wept about midway through the song.
Okay.
Because of everything about it. Lyrics.
Don't make me cry on this bleeping show.
Just intense sexuality. There's so much going on in this. Just maybe stop for a second and go, get this done, get inside, make yourself a drink. Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air. The summer's out of reach.
Song
empty
sucks.
Lake, empty streets. The sun goes down alone. I'm driving by your house, though I know you're not at home. I can see you, your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair combed back and those sunglasses on, baby. Well, I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone.
Well, now you're singing with a lot of angst, so I'm assuming that this is the cover version by the Ataris.
No, that was better than that. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. I don't like that song. I think that song, it's not for me.
It's probably because it reminds you the season's ending and you're not used to it. You're not ready for it.
Yeah, this kind of so you're saying it brings feelings of like a melancholy retrospective to the fact that things are now moving from the summer and the fall into the cold, decrepit hands of Father Winter.
And then to make it even more confusing, this intense sexuality that is just palatable when you hear the song.
You think there's an intense sexuality to that song?
I mean, I don't think it's there. It's pretty evident. It's an elephant in the room.
Well, I'm taking this off course. Do you think that song is sexier than Paradise by the Dashboard Lights by Meatloaf?
Well, I think do you mind if I quote Meatloaf when I say it depends what you're doing while you're listening to it?
Okay, so is that a no?
I don't know. Ask Meatloaf.
Yeah. Well, Jason, you've done a true service to the viewers of this show who are maybe not looking forward to tearing down their backyard setup and supplies. You've given them 6 very specific songs that they can use to enhance the experience that takes them through a wave and a roller coaster of emotions, the highs and the lows.
Backyard support.
To what's to come.
What's that? Say it again.
Ultimately leading
to where it's come.
Winter.
Support to all my backyard friends and all my backyard peers. Get it done, get back inside, make something nice to eat, relax, maybe stream a TV show.
Yeah. Well, Jason, look, I have to thank you so much for answering the challenge. It was thrown towards you about 5 hours ago, and I loved it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. I look forward to being back on the 410th show.
The 400th. Well, Only 100 to go. Thanks, Jason.
Got that right.
That is the one and only Mr. Jason Grimmer. Do you have a backyard? Is the idea of tearing it down, tearing you up inside? Well, listen to that playlist. He's going to be posting it on his personal Facebook page by way of a Spotify playlist link. So go to Facebook and search Jason Grimmer. He loves having people add him on Facebook. Let's welcome our next guest. Now, earlier on, as I was exchanging some text messages with this person over our respective mobile devices, going through some ideas as to what we were going to be talking about, this person landed on how they're making soup these days. Now, we don't talk about food that much on this show. We had a great panel episode based on chocolate soups. I like eating them. They're out of my realm. Am I going to look to take this segment off course? Yes. Let's welcome our next guest, Ms. Alex Brown. Alex, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much for having me back.
Well, Alex, this is we're seeing a lot of each other these days.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah. Now, a couple weeks ago, you and we did a little improv show together.
Yes, we did.
The Diving Bell Social Club is part of Mystery Date, the first, and frankly, as far as I'm concerned, only version of that show. I think things went pretty well.
I think they went very well. Yeah. I think we passed a important milestone in our friendship.
What do you think that milestone was?
Doing improv together.
Yeah, now that's something we don't have a large history. We've been in a variety of shows together, but not that intensively.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're a duo now.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? After that set, which frankly I thought was the set of the night, I would never say that at the show, but at this show I'll say whatever I like.
It's your show. You say whatever you want.
Set of the night, I'll say set of the night, and I mean it. I'm not blowing smoke up either of our arses.
No.
People from Saskatchewan might call an ass. It went so well.
It did.
The powers that be said we got to do it again. I said, you're playing with fire.
And I said, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
and we did it.
We did it, yeah.
And not as good as the first one.
Not as good as the first time, but
was it unpleasant?
No, and there was some good stuff there, Yeah.
Dare I say, Alex?
Yeah.
That maybe we both left that set perhaps feeling a little empty inside.
Yeah, and I think we were, I was a little hard on myself, and I think we were, because we were like, oh, we should have done this, And
you know what? I take full responsibility because I said, no, we should talk to the crowd at first.
Yeah, but that was the part that I felt like okay about. That was the best part.
The crowd work, probably the best part of the show.
We should do crowd work.
This is the thing. I feel like that I've really backed myself into a corner.
Yeah.
This is this crowd work guy. And then I almost feel like I do a disservice to the show once I start doing actual improv.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was like in my head, I think, when we started doing the improv. I was like, okay, like what do I do with all this like information I've received?
Yeah.
From the crowd work.
Well,
from the impeccable crowd work. So
here's the thing. First show went really well. Second show was fine.
Yeah.
It means we got to do it again.
I think so, yeah. Third time's a charm,
Third time's a charm. And coming from the chat right now, this is most certainly in reference to the first show that we did. Comes from Naive Adventures. Now, I'm not going to use the second word. I don't using swears.
No.
The quote is, quote, you guys were improv effing.
Look, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the show was called Mystery Date, right? Sometimes people F after a date.
That's right. And we F during an improv show.
Yeah. Now, Alex, I don't want to make this just about improv here because
neither do I. Not at all. Not at all.
Here. But I want to know what you were, because this show that we did, the premise was that the people were being paired up at random.
Yes.
Now, when you saw your name,
I had figured it out.
Why do you feel like you had figured it out?
Because I recalled a conversation that we had a few weeks prior to this, where you were like, "Oh, we've never done improv together," And I think like whether you even know consciously, I think that planted the seed.
Yeah.
And I think you in your brain, you were like, let's do this.
Yeah. It meant that I had to make this happen.
You did, yeah.
And
well,
look,
and also I thought by that point I was like, okay, like I just had figured out all the pairings in my head, but like, you know, I wasn't right about all of them because I'm not psychic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll say this.
So, yeah.
Set of the night. Set of the night.
I mean, look, we just let it rip. We just said, okay.
And I'll say this right now.
Go.
And this is everyone excluding Alex.
Yeah.
Don't hate me because you ain't me. Now, Alex, let's get into it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about soup tonight.
Yeah, we're shifting into soup mode.
Shifting into soup mode. Now, when we were talking about what are we going to talk about, you were like, oh, what about daylight savings?
Daylight savings.
Now, I had thought to myself when you had brought that up.
Yeah.
Talk about soup, but first we're gonna move over here. Daylight savings time feels like it should be part of a larger episode of this show called Boring Night.
Yeah. Well, and then it's like, I honestly think that like daylight savings and soup are like sort of, you know, they're in the pot together.
Look, let's get into it. Have to say this is quote a first time chat from a viewer, Dr. Crotch. Says G damn. Yeah, he's taking the Lord's name. He's taking the Lord's name.
I'd like Dr. Crotch to elaborate.
Yeah, I ain't no Charlie Church, but I won't take the name in vain. Now, Alex, why are you thinking about soups these days? It's fall. You're making a butternut squash.
I made a butternut squash soup. I've made a few soups recently.
Yeah.
Made a minestrone, which I feel like is sort of like.
It's interesting how you say that.
Yeah. Oh, is it? What do you say?
I say minestrone. I say it the proper.
You say minestrone.
You say minestrone like it's a type of
Boyardee. Yeah. Like it's a type of what?
It feels like it should be in a can of Chef Boyardee.
Oh, sure, but like minestrone, like where are you from?
I'm a big believer in saying things the way that they should be said.
But is that
you're saying minestrone?
We need a ruling on that.
Yeah, we need an arbiter, maybe. The Italian persuasion. So we'll find. Okay, so you made a minestrone.
Yeah. Minestrone, whatever you want to call it, which I think is like a very 90s soup. Like, I just think that's, you know.
That just gave me another idea. Ranking the top soups of the 90s.
Yeah, you and Jason can do that one. He seems like a soup guy.
Yeah. So, okay. So you're making a butternut squash, a minestrone. What else?
Yeah, I made a potato and leek, which is a personal fave of mine.
Yeah, that fantastic soup.
It's a great soup. Yeah, and
you made that?
What's that?
You made that?
I made that. Yeah, I made all these soups I'm listing.
Potato and leek, eh?
Potato and leek. It's very easy.
When are you making it next?
Why, you want some? I'll bring you some. All right.
I would like some.
All right, good. I'll bring you some. I don't know. I'll put it in my calendar.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so Alice, this is your segment. We're talking about soup.
Talking soups.
Tell us more.
Well, I've been thinking about making a broccoli cheddar.
All right. Sounds like it sounds like something that you would be for a limited time only at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, looking at some recipes today. You know, you can do a vegan version, but you know, I'm not a vegan, so I'd go with the cheddar. I feel like that's where the creaminess comes from.
Yeah.
Found a recipe that adds Greek yogurt at the end. I think that's too creamy. I think that's too much.
Yeah, now this is the thing. Now creamy soups, they're a very, very delicate balancing act, because I've never been a fan of cream of chicken, the very off-putting. A lot of when it comes to soups, I'm more of a, how would you put it, a canned soup kind of guy.
Oh, I see. Okay.
A lot of the chicken that comes in the canned soups is a little funky.
It's a little weird, and it's like yellow. Like, why is it that color? That's not.
I don't know if it's stained from the broth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is a little off color here. Reminds me of chicken that should be in cat food.
Yeah, I think it's probably coming from the same factory.
Now I like the broth in those soups. The broth
great.
So good. Like a chicken noodle broth is super delicious. I like the noodles, but the chicken is it's not for me.
Because I don't think it's real chicken, we need a ruling on that one too.
Well, if you're in the chat, if you have a strong opinion, let us know. Something tells me no responses are coming. Now where do you land on canned soups?
So canned soups I feel like are good. I like canned tomato soup.
Okay, you put milk or cream in there, as is.
Just water. Like you do the thing and then you pour the cans of water in.
Yeah, like my mom, who's most certainly either watching this show right now or is going to be retroactively watching it, always made it with milk. And I, as a young, thought this is sickening.
I also think I'm like verging on lactose intolerant, so that would not work for me. But I feel like it might be a bit too rich.
Now I'm gonna hit you with this canned soup company. What about Amy's canned soups, the organic ones?
Is that with the chilies?
Yeah, chili. They got all kinds of soups.
I feel like it's like an illusion of health, like it's like
salt.
Yeah, it's like if you look at it, it's the same as like Campbell's.
Yeah.
Are you trying not to yawn right now?
No. Well, maybe I was. I think I maybe let out a little yawn, but
that's okay.
At what point in our lives are yawns going to stop being equated to boredom, right?
Hey, look, you're tired.
Well, if you're in
daylight savings.
If you're in bed at night and you yawn, you're like, oh, I'm so bored of being awake.
I'm so bored.
Yeah, maybe I'll a little yawn.
That's okay. I mean, this is fine. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the boredom.
Alex, I'll tell you what. I'm not bored by it. People love talking food.
People love soup.
In the chat right now, quote, the best canned soup is lentil soup. Then I would recommend Amy's. And then
I think if you're gonna go lentil, you go Amy's.
Yeah, here we go. Yes, Amy's lentil soup. We've also got Italian style wedding. I'm not a big fan of meatballs.
No, what are you, nuts?
Yeah. Ew. What are you, crazy?
That's disgusting. That's like sewage. I'm sorry.
It's like leftover food. Hey, let's put it.
It's tiny. Why are the meatballs like the size of the end of a pin?
Yeah. Well, we made a new enemy on this show.
I think so. Is it Dr. Crotch?
What do you feel about gazpacho?
Oh, I don't think I've ever had a cold soup in my life. Mm-hmm. So, but I do, my only experience with gazpacho is probably when Lisa becomes a vegetarian on The Simpsons.
Yep.
And everybody makes fun of her at Homer's Barbecue because she's like, it's tomato soup served ice cold.
Yeah. Now that's my only reference point. I've never had a gazpacho.
I don't think it'd be for me. I'm not into it.
What about now? How do you feel about borscht?
Oh, love borscht. Big fan.
You got any places in the city where you're like, their borscht is where
Tea has pretty good borscht, actually.
That's exactly Alex.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are we getting some borscht?
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Do we ever hang out?
Well, I don't know.
You think it would be weird?
Why? I don't think.
Well, maybe that was the reason why we never do it.
Because neither of us have thought about it.
In my brain, it would be like, oh no, maybe Alex would be nervous.
Well, I'm always nervous, so that's okay. Maybe we have to get over that.
We gotta have ourselves a day and then recap it on the show later on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think
we should get let's get Andy to follow us around with a camera. Or no, it can't be. No, it has to be secret.
There can't be a buffer.
There has to be.
We have to take home videos.
Look, you can't take this personally. I pretty much need a buffer with literally every single person.
You're telling me you don't ever do one-on-one hangouts, Alex?
I do, and I am uncomfortable for pretty much like 90% of the time.
Tell me why. Alex, I'm a very comfortable guy to hang out with.
Because what if we don't have anything to talk about? What if there's
Alex, we're talking about soup on an internet TV show right now.
Yeah, but we have a buffer because we have an audience.
So okay, well, look, let's work on it. I like the idea of recapping it and then
this has turned into a different segment.
I knew it would. I felt so confident what we could do as creators and co-creators. It'd be fine. Now I'm back on. So what do you think about matzo ball soup? I say overrated.
I think overrated too, but I also have not had like from scratch, like made by somebody's like mom.
What is this? A big bread ball soup?
It's like a big hunk of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have always thought like maybe I'll try and make that sometime.
Yeah.
But then I just think like, why would I do that?
You know what I like is it's got a lot of dill in it, and dill is one of my favorite flavor profiles.
Wait. It does? Yeah, I guess it does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now people are gonna say I don't buy it. I went to Mandy's once.
Okay, what for soup?
Well, I was with a lady.
Oh.
She
well, oh my goodness. Brag.
I couldn't together.
I don't make myself laugh.
Well, that's all you got, right?
And she wanted to have a salad. And what? Here's the thing. I'm not a really big believer in spending $20 on a salad.
But they're good salads.
I got the soup. And you know what? I love the broth. I love the broth.
But what kind of soup was it?
Matzo ball soup.
Oh, it was matzo ball soup from Mandy's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would have like some kind of soup with like butternut squash and like apples or something.
That sounds nice too.
Yeah, but that's what I picture for Mandy's.
Now let me ask you this. What do you think about tortilla soup?
The one from El Rey is nice. Yeah,
I like the one from El Rey del Taco, otherwise known as the Taco King.
The Taco King.
I also like the Pozole from there is very good.
I haven't had that. No.
And I like the tortilla soup from Tacos Frita.
I haven't been. No, that's one in St. Henry, right?
Absolutely.
Haven't tried that one yet.
Once again, coming in from the chat, we've got, quote, best soup in the world.
Whoa.
I don't want to butcher this. It's called soup jomu. It's, quote, a Haitian pumpkin soup. I'll eat a pumpkin soup.
Wow. Would love that.
Now,
you don't need a bowl of that right now.
We got another question here.
Yeah.
This one comes in from Devin, our production assistant. Is chili a soup? I say no.
No, chili's its own thing.
Got no broth.
It's like chili's its own entire category.
Yeah.
There's like soups, there's stews, which like we can't even get into because we need another segment.
Yeah, there's just no time.
There's no time.
Yeah.
And then there's chili, which I think is just like, and I also hear from you, person, like you've told me this, that you are the chili king of Montreal.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I make chili once a year. It's usually to coincide with the first game of the hockey season. A couple weeks ago, I finally re-welcomed Dimitri Kirez back into my home.
That's brave of you.
It was maybe the best chili I've ever made.
Really?
I have won a chili cook-off competition amongst friends. And most notably beating your roommate, Vance Gillis.
Yes, that's
friend of the show.
Yeah.
I make a mean chili. But it ain't no soup.
But it's its own thing, and that's okay. Like I'm open to the chili conversation.
Now, how do you feel about? We're going back to the canned soups here.
Yeah.
Campbell's Chunky, aka dog food.
Yeah. What even is that? Chunky what?
Yeah, you're talking about. They're all in their own categories. You got soups, chilies, and stews. I feel like the Campbell's Chunky, they do it all in one.
But is this like a category? Like, is it chunky? Something and then chunky like
I think it's meant to be like a thick soup, but I think if it's too thick, if you turn it to its side and it doesn't quickly spill,
it's not like a blizzard from DQ. Like you're not trying to like that's not soup.
I'm gonna go off course here, and this might offend some people.
I
think Dairy Queen sucks.
But have you had their hot eats?
Never, but I would.
Because they're good.
I think their ice cream is
it's not
some of the worst.
It's not really ice cream. Like
it's like that crappy Breyers ice cream. It's like a gelatinous cold treat. Sucks.
Yeah, it's oil. But the food, but honestly, the food is good. And they have like a meal deal. Well, it's like $7. My roommate really likes it. It's like $7 and you get a burger and fries and a drink and a sundae, I think.
But are there any Dairy Queens in Montreal that serve the food?
No, we've discovered it's like only when we go to Nova Scotia, and then I think they're like in Ontario, they still have it too. But
okay, now
Quebec doesn't have it.
I want to pivot here a little bit. Soups that you won't eat. Are there any?
Well, I don't like that Italian wedding because, like, what even is that?
We agree. We agree.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat no mushroom soup. I'll tell you that much.
Like a cream of mushroom? Is that what you mean?
It could be a cream of mushroom. It could be mushroom. It's not for me.
Oh, you know what I really used to love as a kid was split pea soup.
Okay.
And now as an adult, I will not look at it.
Now that's the thing. Pea soup.
Yeah.
C'est tellement québécois ça.
Yeah, but also maritimer though. Real
maritimer. Vendredi, on mange le soupe au pois.
Yeah.
Donne-moi la sel et poivre, colis.
Yeah, sure there.
Oh, I don't like ham in it though. I don't like it with the chunks of ham.
No, the ham is weird. I like a smooth soup. I have an immersion blender and I'm using that, I'm using that all the time.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
What else is not making your soups to eat list or to make in 20?
I don't think I would run I don't know, I
don't like a lot of these roasted pepper soups.
Yeah, I find those kind of weird, and I think that the effort outweighs the actual outcome of what you're getting. Yeah,
now,
if you're making them.
We're talking soups here. We got to go real big because we got a little bit of time left.
Great,
Alex. How do we feel about ramen?
Oh, I mean, but ramen is the thing that I eat where it's I know I'm going in and I know I'm coming out with a stomach ache and I don't know what it is, but I feel terrible after I eat ramen.
What about pho?
Oh, the best. I mean, that's perfect.
Right? Yeah. Now you got a cold, that might be the soup to have.
I think so, yeah. I was actually thinking about what are foods I want to eat. Yeah. It's great.
Noodles, chicken if you want it, a bunch of onion.
The broth, herbs.
Yeah. Now I believe that I recently gave you and your roommate a recommendation on where to get pho.
You did?
Yeah.
Where?
Now, did you both not go have some pho recently?
Well, we went to Pho Back 97. That
was my recommendation.
Yeah, but I've been there a bunch.
Well, then
it's not a recommendation.
The thing is, Alex, we get it.
Yeah, we know.
We did it.
The broth there is wow, what are they doing?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that place, they're not friendly to you, and it's so good that you don't give a care.
And they don't check for your vaccine.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
But you know what? Care. You know what? A lot of places don't. And I'll tell you what. I think that they're just I trust.
Right. If you're coming in here, you're vaccinated.
If you're coming in, it's because that, because I would suggest a lot of not vaccinated people, they're probably not making the effort unless they find any of the anti-vax people or holdouts right now. They're like, wait a minute. Pho Back 97.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right?
They're getting in their car right now and speeding down. Little bit closed.
They'll be there when it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've really unlocked a soup discussion.
I think so, and I think we need to get more into the chili because I need to hear what what are you doing to yours?
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you what. I don't try anything crazy, and I'll tell you, it tastes good.
Do you put beans in it?
Put beans in it.
Okay, because I think traditional actual chili is meat only, but
I'll tell you what, beans, chili.
Yeah, same.
That's it.
Best.
Yeah, and then if people want to put their little sour cream and cheese on top,
you do a little avocado,
a little garnish, a little spritz. But Alex, before we let you go, confirm or deny, when you're we could talk about soup, how confident did you feel with that pitch?
I felt pretty good. I was I got a lot to talk about.
I'm glad to hear it, because if I know one thing,
if
a soup discussion is meant to get this chat room fired up.
I mean, look,
and they are so much soup-based banter in this room. And I'll tell you what, as soon as you leave and I bring the next guest on, that chat's going to die a very fast death.
Well, I'm happy to, give a soup update anytime.
So this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
You've got to eat some of my chili.
And I got
to eat some of your potato leek soup.
Yep.
Then you and me have to go get borscht and spend the entire day together.
Oh my God.
No buffer.
No buffer at all at any point in the day.
No, and I'm going to tell you what, when it's over, you're going to be like, that was great.
I'll be like, I got a new best friend.
I'm the easiest person to hang out with in
I believe it.
Entire city. I think
wow.
You roommate this.
Yeah.
In all of our circle of friends, I'm the only one to individually hang out with everyone one-on-one.
You might be right about that.
I am.
My roommate doesn't, that's for sure.
I'll tell you what, I love your roommate. And
he's a great guy.
I like to think he loves me too.
He does. You guys are in love.
Alex, sure. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
We're going to be in love too. Yeah, just think about it.
We gotta achieve it first. I can't say it until
we don't know what's gonna happen.
Look, yeah, we don't know, but we know that it's gonna be documented for a future episode of the At Home program. Alex, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure's all mine. That is downtown Alex Brown, soup expert. I'll tell you what, you didn't like that segment. I'll see you in the field when I get gunned down. I'll take you with me. Folks, here's the deal. We do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This Friday, no show tonight, or no show that night. We got a show tonight. There's no show that night. We have a show tonight, no show that night. Why? I'm doing a show at the Montreal Improv Theater. Some people think it's smelly in there. I don't care. Here's the deal. I've been to smellier. I've been to damper. As long as the comedy's good, I believe that comedy overrules everything. This Friday, 8 p.m., the face-off. I'll be there. And guess what? Each and every time you vote for one of my scenes, 5 on 10. You can only vote 5. That's how confident I am. Let's welcome our next guest. He is, again, a true icon in the at-home universe. Please welcome Mr. Andy Assaf. Andy, holy smokes. Is Andy, everything okay there, buddy? It looks like you've got a toppled car, a bottle of wine, and a giant joint. Yeah, Andy, maybe you want to take out that joint while you're, do what you like. How long is that cigarette? It's the longest smoke I've ever seen. And I'm also coming in from the chat right now. Apparently you're muted.
Oh no, everything's going wrong, James. I'm freaking Oh, you missed the whole freaking lively crash back here too.
Yeah, well, we may have missed it, but we certainly see it. You got a giant cigarette. Your car is in bad shape.
King size, James. King size.
Andy, what's going on? What's going on, man?
Oh, what isn't going on, James? Everything's turning up, Andy. I'll tell you that much.
Are you pouring wine into what is that? Some type of a culata?
This is vodka, and this is a hazy IPA, Kensington Brewery.
Yeah, well, it's not the only thing that's hazy right now. Andy, what you've been, look, I don't know how else to put it. You've been drinking and driving? You look like you're about to launch a SoundCloud for a rap album.
I would never do any of those things, maybe the latter, but I'm fine, James. I'm totally fine. Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Well, Andy, it seems like you're totally messed up, man. You're drinking straight vodka with a cigarette in your mouth.
James, we all have our own ways of dealing with stress. All right, James.
Why are you stressed?
For me, it's going for a nice, what are we, Tuesday, Wednesday night?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Thursday night drive out here at beautiful Saint Bruno, right in the outskirts of Montreal. And I just parked, okay, and we're gonna enjoy this nice sunset. It's getting darker sooner, so I'm and I'm just gonna relax and let all of my stresses melt away, James.
Yeah, well, it's the second time you brought up stress, Andy. What are you so stressed about, man? Maybe I can help in ways that your vodka can't.
Jeez, you know what's going on, man. You were there. You saw it. I was robbed.
You were robbed. Wait, someone robbed you?
I was robbed at gunpoint. And the gun was, I'm sorry to say, James, this show.
Now, I don't know if it's the alcohol talking or if there was a episode of this show that I was not a part of. What do you mean you were robbed at gunpoint?
Well, James, look.
I don't like the way you're cuddling that booze.
Yeah, James, look. I'm going to tell you one thing, okay? For those who missed it, the last appearance I made on the show was a game show of sorts.
I understand.
The second of what I'm to understand is going to be 3 trivia nights versus Mr. Dave Kaufman, another tech of this program.
That's true. Yeah. Program. And, now,
well,
in the month of October, you beat him in a Halloween trivia showdown.
It wasn't even a competition.
And then last week we had a rematch, and it was a general trivia showdown that featured categories that included, again, Halloween. There's video games, the month of November, cigarettes, and the TV show Entourage. And he mopped the floor with you.
Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of an issue with that whole episode as a whole.
You might want to save your cigarette that's falling down Mount Assaf.
I got more. All right, I got more. Look, James, I'm sorry to say this. Look, I love your show. I love you as a host. I love you as a guy. You are totally right. Easiest guy to hang out with one-on-one. Okay?
Yeah, I love you. That's why I'm worried.
But I'm sorry, but it was like a game of football that was with fixed refs, but that competition was rigged.
Well, Andy, how do you figure that it was rigged? Now, people were watching. The episode's available still on our Twitch page.
Great.
It's also available on demand on YouTube.
Great. We can all go back and see what I'm talking about. But I'm sorry, James. Okay. Let's. Where do we start? Let's start with November as a category, James.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We all know that Dave knows more about November than I do because I am, of course, honoring the high holy month of No Nut November. So for me, it's hard to concentrate. So just doing it.
So let's just pull this back for a second. Now, you're saying that because you are
Muslim, yes.
Well, I wasn't going to say Muslim.
No, you were going to say it, James. It's okay.
I wasn't going to say it. Okay,
no, it's fine.
Because you're adhering to No Nut November, you felt that the odds were stacked against you because you're choosing not to have any type of emission.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, but Andy, you accepted to be on the show.
Yes, James, because I never turned down a competition. You know that about me.
Well, then how are the odds stacked against you if you agreed, knowing the condition?
Well, James, look, I don't know. When's James, let me ask you a question. When's the longest time you went without you know?
Yeah, Andy, I just don't see how that's pertinent to this.
Because it is pertinent, James, because you would know if you were a Muslim like I myself and respected No Nut November, you would understand. Andy, it's so hard to concentrate.
Does being Muslim have to do with celebrating No Nut November?
Look,
Help
James,
me understand.
We'll move on because I have a lot of gripes to get through. Okay, video games was another category.
You were confident going into that one.
Oh, only because I play a lot of video games.
Well, then what's the problem?
Because Dave works in video games.
Okay.
He freaking makes them, man.
Okay, so what if I'm willing to concede that I understand your point of view, but what about the cigarettes category?
Okay. I don't know the first thing about cigarettes. I've never touched the shit in my life.
Okay, well, what about the Halloween category? You won that one.
Well, that one was easy. That one was the only fair category. Okay,
well,
I'm sorry, James. This is like Florida. It's clearly going in the right way.
Well, what I meant to say was you won the original Halloween trivia episode, but last week you lost.
What's this? Mythbusters, we have a control group, which is the Halloween category. You see, the whole episode was Halloween themed, and suddenly I win. Suddenly I'm a winner. And then one category is Halloween, and I also win.
Yeah, well, in the subject of Halloween, you seem possessed right now by the spirits of alcohol.
Look, James.
Now, Andy, you were very confident with the Entourage category, and you absolutely dropped the ball on that one.
James, I don't know what to tell you, okay? The only thing I remember about Entourage is Emmanuel Shinqui. Probably the top babe of the 2000s. All right. Otherwise, you asked me any question about Entourage, and everyone clearly saw. Who remembers anything about that show?
Dave remembered all of it.
Okay, well, this is...
He even remembered the name of Vinny Chase's dog, he remembered the name.
Well, I'm going to say this, James. I'm going to make a wild claim here. Okay, and this might get us demonetized. This might get us deplatformed because you know how social media is.
Well, really choose your words wisely if it's going to get us deplatformed.
But I think Dave had an earpiece.
You think he had an earpiece and I was talking with him?
He had an earpiece directly linked to. I'm just going to spitball Dimitri in a van outside his house.
So now you think Dimitri's again, Andy? Can I tell you what I think?
It's the deep state, James.
Can I tell you what I think?
Yeah.
I think that you were in a low stakes trivia contest.
Low stakes, James?
Hold on. You lost, and then you decided to get drunk and almost flip your car, and you're dwelling on it. And I think you're kind of blaming this trivia contest for your problems.
I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. Is a competition low stakes when you win a big cash prize off of the first round of it? And then going to the second round, you pick up a new habit. Let's call it pokerstars.com, okay? And you bet all of your prize winnings away and then some. Okay, James? And then you have people calling your phone all day saying, "Hey, when are you going to pay back that debt, bud?" Yeah, I'm gonna invest myself into round 2, which also had a big cash prize.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know who did pretty well for himself on PokerStars.com was Dave.
That's my point. Is that? I'm sorry, but there's coincidence, and then there's. Look, I'll let the viewers at home, who. Let me be real, have completely dropped off the chat since we stopped talking about soup.
Yeah, well, as I predicted.
But they can connect the dots themselves.
Well, Andy, what about this? What if we try to end this on a bit of a high note? Yeah. We know there's going to be a third and final trivia showdown between you and Dave. And it's going to be holiday.
And clearly, look, he's even planting people in the chat.
Yeah, I'm laughing because Dr. Cross in the chat wrote Grim.
First comment of the night? I wonder why. Because they're freaking sock puppet accounts, James. They're sock puppet accounts.
Okay, but Andy,
swaying public opinion against me.
Andy, it's going to be the rubber match between you and Dave. You took the first contest. He took the second. Winner takes all. What if you win the holiday trivia contest episode? It's coming up soon.
I already threw down with Dave. I already told him $15 on the table now. Let's go. Money match me. And he accepted. That was clear on the show, right, James?
As I recall.
So this is going to be like the last. Okay. I don't want to get anyone at home too excited, especially not Dr. Crotch. But this is going to be like the last scene of Rounders, where John Malkovich, I walk into his weird Russian mob den, and I say, "Buy me in, let's go," And Matt Damon famously says, "You can't lose what you don't put in the middle, but you can't win much either." And I'm gonna figure out Dave's tell, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna win this competition.
Well, look, I love trash talk. I love trash talk. I like that it's in the spirit of competition. But Andy, before I let you go, I want to ask you to do me one favor.
What's that?
Just maybe don't drink any more of that vodka that's in a wine bottle.
All done. I finished it, James.
All right.
It's done. Well, I'm going to go smoke this thing, not a cigarette.
Thing.
And I'm going to go drive my car and go look at old Saint Bruno.
All right. Well, Andy, look, I truly want the best for you, and I wish you well.
Yeah. Well, James, I'm gonna be catching up on my entourage. So when you throw that down on the last episode where the last round of this trivia, I'm gonna be ready.
All right. Well, it's a holiday trivia contest, so there's not gonna be an entourage round.
What about the entourage? The Christmas episodes?
I don't recall any Christmas episodes or specials in the Entourage series.
Yeah, Vinny, is he gonna do the holiday movie? Is he going to do a Hallmark movie? You don't remember?
How about this? Because Dave knows a lot about Entourage, I will ask him if there's a holiday episode.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Dave, Andy,
I'm for you.
Take care of yourself. Dave. Andy, take care of yourself, okay?
You take care of yourself, James.
That's Andy Assaf. He's coming to us from St. Bruno. I'm not convinced because wherever he's coming to us from, it is daytime And in Quebec, it's currently pitch black. Folks, that's our show. And I've only got one thing to say. Are you kidding? I am Queens Boulevard. Dave's not the only guy that knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to Entourage. I want to thank Andy Assaf, who, again, I get to see things you don't see by way of our production call, is wandering through the field that he's in right now. And now his pants are off. I also have to thank Alex Brown, soup expert, and Jason Grimmer, an expert in music to listen to while tearing down your backyard setup. And folks, to you watching tonight, the ones of you who were engaged, and for those of you who weren't, I appreciate you either way. And I know that if I happen to find myself gunned down in a field, much like Willem Dafoe in Platoon, that you would be there for me at my funeral as you say your goodbye. And now it is time for me to say goodbye to you. Once again, no show this Friday, but you come and see me on stage, Montreal Improv, right down the street from my home. I'm not giving you any details about where I live. I want to keep all the creeps and crazies away. But you see me and a lot of friends of the show on that show. Until then, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell. And of course, be well.